Coming up on Newswatch 16, Wegmans has recalled 2 of its products due to safety concerns.
Local officials will hold a public information session on combating hydrilla.
And an Ithaca Common Council member is up for re-election after just 2 months in office.
All that and more, plus weather and health watch tonight on Newswatch 16.
Covering Ithaca and all of Tompkins County. Live on ICTV, Newswatch 16 starts right now.
Tompkins County organizations are rallying to provide aid to those affected by Superstorm Sandy. Good evening, I'm Kelly Wakely.
And I'm Dylan Lyons. That story is first on 16 tonight. In the wake of Superstorm Sandy, organizations in Tompkins County are rallying to help the recovery effort along the eastern seaboard. The Red Cross and Salvation Army have both made contributions to the recovery effort. The Red Cross has scheduled 33 blood drives for the next month in Ithaca and Cortland. The American Red Cross in Central New York has already sent between 20 and 30 volunteers to the affected areas. People who want to donate clothing or other goods have been directed to the Salvation Army. The Red Cross and Salvation Army are both accepting monetary donations.
A public information session about hydrilla is planned for 7 p.m. Wednesday in the Borg-Warner Room at the Tompkins County Public Library. Presenters will discuss local efforts to eradicate hydrilla in Cayuga Inlet and the monitoring of drinking water. Protocol results and interpretation of plant monitoring for herbicide effectiveness will also be discussed. Before the meeting, a reception will recognize volunteers who monitored the lake and inlet over the summer. The meeting will reserve time for questions.
Wegmans supermarkets announced 2 food recalls this week. Newswatch 16's Stephen Brasley has the details.
This week, 2 food products were recalled from Wegmans stores. The first is a batch of bakery pumpkin rolls sold between September 1st and last Tuesday. The rolls may contain pieces of clear plastic from their packaging, which may be sharp and could pose a choking hazard. The pumpkin roll recall applies to packages containing whole rolls, half rolls, or 2 slices. Wegmans is also recalling 5-ounce and 11-ounce packages of organic spinach and spring mix salads sold between October 14th and last Thursday. The salads may be contaminated with E. coli. Wegmans representatives say 16 illnesses have been reported to the New York State Health Department in connection with these salads. These reports came from western upstate New York.
Now, I spoke with Jo Natali. She's the public relations director for Wegmans. Unfortunately, Wegmans does not allow on-camera interviews for this situation, but I did speak with her over the phone. She did tell me that all of Wegmans' 81 stores were carrying the pumpkin rolls and the salads. However, she could not confirm to me exactly how many of the rolls and salads were sent to the Ithaca store.
Natali did, however, give a procedure for disposing of both recalled products. For the pumpkin rolls, simply return them to a Wegmans service desk for a full refund. Wegmans asks customers who purchase the salads to throw them out. Don't return them to the store. However, a full refund for the salads will be granted if you bring proof of purchase to the store service desk. In Ithaca, Stephen Brasley, Newswatch 16.
Thank you, Stephen. Recent project proposals, Collegetown Crossing, will face its last major regulatory challenge on Tuesday. The proposed 53-unit apartment project would stretch from 307 College Avenue to 226 Linden Avenue. This Tuesday, landlord and developer Josh Lauer will go before the City Board of Zoning Appeals to fight a requirement that the project have 57 parking spaces. The project development team maintains that parking is a public good that should not be mandated. The project has been viewed as a stepping stone for more large-scale development in the Collegetown area. The project attempts to make up for parking by offering an indoor heated bus stop.
He's been in office less than 2 months, but he's already running for re-election. Incumbent Stephen Smith was appointed to Ithaca Common Council in a September special election to fill Eddie Rooker's seat representing the 4th Ward. Smith's current term is up at the end of December. Smith is running as a Democrat. Republican challenger Misha Chekovich, a student at Cornell, is running to become the only Republican on the council. Chekovich lists budget management and prioritizing safety and infrastructure as her main focuses in Ithaca. Smith is looking to improve housing options in the 4th Ward.
The 51st New York State Senate District will have the only contested race in the county. Democrat Howard Lieb and Republican incumbent Jim Seward are fighting to represent the county. Lieb has raised $10,000 in 2 years compared to Seward's $566,000 raised in that same period of time. Lieb's campaign focuses on Medicare, raising the minimum wage, and fighting against hydrofracking. Seward prioritizes mandate relief for property tax bills, making the state more attractive to employers, and adjusting school aid to send funding to poor school districts.
Veterans Day is just a week away, and earlier today, members of the community took to the streets in a show of support for local men and women in uniform. Newswatch 16's John Vogan has more.
The crisp air was filled with billowing flags and the sound of bagpipes and marching bands this afternoon as people lined the streets in downtown Ithaca for the annual Tompkins County Veterans Parade.
Every single year is something new and different, maybe 2 years ago we had some fighter jets fly overhead, and this year we now have the bikers, so it's really exciting. It changes every single year.
Posts from the American Legion, Boys and Girl Scout troops, and officers of the ROTC were among the organizations who took part. Despite the chilly weather, the parade received a successful turnout of several hundred people. Community members expressed their appreciation for service members' sacrifices and the importance of the duties they fulfill. Younger parade attendees and marchers also got to show their patriotism and learn more about the roles veterans have played in protecting their country.
I think it's special because to honor all the veterans and everyone who helps us. It's a really nice opportunity for me and the troop.
As a former Marine, it means a lot to me because it's a kind of a day that everybody comes out and says thank you to not just me but everybody that served our country, all men and women.
Next Sunday, the parade committee will also hold a formal Veterans Day ceremony in DeWitt Park at 11 a.m. For more information, visit veteransdayparadetompkins.com. In Ithaca, John Vogan, Newswatch 16.
The Veterans Day ceremony will take place November 11th at 11 a.m. in DeWitt Park.
Coming up after the break, we'll tell you what's at stake on Tuesday in the New York legislature.
But first, let's take a look at our current conditions with Adam Epstein.
Thanks, guys. So yes, it is early November, but getting up to a high of only 41 degrees is below our expected normal around 54. We have a nor'easter possibly coming our way later this week. Everything you need to know about that coming up after the break. Stick with us.
Thanks for making Newswatch 16 your choice for local news.
Welcome back. A Rochester teen has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and admitted his role in the death of a Gates man. 17-year-old Robert L. Lathrop admitted Friday in state Supreme Court that he was involved in the 2011 robbery and fatal shooting of Matthew Sanfilippo. Lathrop said that he did not pull the trigger, but was involved in the robbery. No one else has been arrested in the connection with the case. Lathrop has accepted a plea agreement and will face a minimum prison term of 18 years to life.
The New York State Legislature has the opportunity for a huge change as New York voters turn out for the presidential election. All 213 legislative seats are up for grabs in this election, and more than 24 seats have been vacated by incumbents. Democrats are still expected to continue their majority of 100 seats in the 150-seat assembly. The most highly anticipated New York contest, however, will be the fight for control of the Senate, which is now held by Republicans.
Rochester's police chief says the city's ticket dismissal policy is being tightened. This comes after a newspaper investigation uncovered a ticket-fixing trend among officers. The Rochester Democrat and Chronicle report the police department routinely voided tickets without reason. The paper found hundreds of violations issued to city employees were voided over the last 3 years. Chief Jim Shepard said the ticket policy has been abused. Shepard says a review of hundreds of parking tickets is underway and the ticket policy is being revised.
Dozens of people came out for the Festival of Lights last night at Cornell. Newswatch 16's Candace King has more.
A flood of lights illuminated Sage Hall at Cornell University last night, where dozens of people gathered to celebrate Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights. It is one of the most popular holidays celebrated in South Asia. However, members of the South Asian Business Club at Cornell brought that tradition nearly 8,000 miles to Ithaca for their Diwali night. The purpose behind the event had a deeper meaning.
It signifies the triumph of good over evil, and that's what we're celebrating here this night.
The festival began with the lighting of an oil lamp known as the diya. After that, there were a series of performances. The real show, however, was in the fashion. Numerous attendees were dressed in traditional Indian attire.
This is called a sari, and the jewelry is also the Indian jewelry. These are the bangles, and actually I'm supposed to be wearing a bindi, but I didn't have that.
Diwali is typically celebrated among families. However, most of the attendees, their families are still living in India. For them, this night is about community.
I think it's a really good way to showcase the culture, and it's just another really good way to bring people together for this. You know, if we wouldn't have it, it just doesn't feel. It's a great way to be festive. It's, you know, because we work so hard all the other times.
While the festival will turn out their lights to return to work, for many of the attendees, the inner spirit from Diwali continues to shine on. In Ithaca, Candace King, Newswatch 16.
Thousands of dollars have been donated to a Buffalo animal shelter following the rescue of a Jack Russell Terrier after it was found on fire. The young dog is recovering at the animal shelter with burned ears, an ankle infection, and blistered eyelids. The dog may have to have a foot amputated. Hundreds of people from Buffalo have donated about $12,000 to pay for the dog's expensive medical care. Donations left over after the dog's recovery will go toward the care of other sick and injured animals. Buffalo police have been investigating the case since the dog was found last Monday. In related news, a Binghamton man has died after trying to save 7 dogs from a house fire. Jason Maddox saved 2 of the 7 dogs in the house before dying of smoke inhalation. He was one of 9 people living in the rented home. According to Binghamton Fire Marshal Dan Eggleston, the fire started early Saturday morning in a second-floor bedroom and spread upward to the home's top floor. 5 other residents of the house escaped, and 3 residents weren't home at the time of the fire. The house did have working smoke detectors on every floor except the 3rd floor. The cause of the fire is not believed to be suspicious.
Help is on the way for the people of New York City. 600 more National Guard members headed to New York Friday to help restore electrical grids in Westchester and Rockland counties. The soldiers assigned to the 42nd Infantry Division, based in Troy, started working Friday night. The new manpower brings the total number of forces deployed in response to Hurricane Sandy to more than 3,400. Close to 500 military vehicles are being used in cleanup efforts on Long Island and in the city.
New Yorkers are being urged to watch out for stores and companies charging excessive prices in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy. State Attorney General Eric Schneiderman said that jacking up prices during abnormal market disruption, such as during a natural disaster, is against the law. Consumers who think they're being scammed should contact the Attorney General's Consumer Helpline at the bottom of the screen or find the complaint form online at ag.ny.gov. Schneiderman also advises victims of Sandy to consult insurers, check contractor references, and get written repair estimates.
Up next, meteorologist Adam Epstein warns of possible snowfall this week.
Stay with us.
Now, Newswatch 16 weather.
Welcome back. Meteorologist Adam Epstein joins us with our weekly forecast.
Adam, am I going to have to shovel a path to my car this week?
Well, fortunately, you may be able to keep the shovel in the closet, but you might have to walk over a few flurries. What you definitely can expect is some colder temperatures. We'll take you to our current conditions right now, and you'll see just that. 33 degrees right now, winds coming from the north-northwest at 5 miles per hour. Humidity is pretty high at 82%. And our pressure is reading 30 and rising. We'll talk more about that later. High for today is 41, low is 23. So here's what we're expecting this week. We have those wind chill lows. Temperatures are going to be pretty low. We have snow sightings this week. You may get your first tangible snow. We have a nor'easter nearby that will go into depth later on in the forecast. So right now, Buffalo's at 35, Syracuse at 39, Albany's at 41 degrees. We're pretty cold up in the northeast, and here are national temperatures. We could see a clear division of the jet stream right here, separating that cold Arctic air in the north to that warmer tropical air in the south. You can see some 60s, some 70s, and even some 80s down in Texas. So here is our satellite showing a shield of clouds over New York, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Vermont. and that's due to an extratropical cyclone once known as Sandy, so it's still impacting the area as it twirls off in the Atlantic. Some moisture down in the south. We'll see it's a low pressure system that may cause that nor'easter, but what we're looking at in short term isn't that low. It's a high pressure system that's building in from Canada. And as it creeps closer in, it's going to cause two things. One, as it gets closer, it's going to cause some clear skies, so we're going to see some sun. That's the good news. Two, it's going to cause some colder air coming in from the north. So wind chills are going to be in the 20s, expect highs in the 30s as we go into later this week. So here's our long-term forecast. That low pressure system off the coast of North Carolina, it has two possible tracks. One goes out into the Atlantic, which is good news for us. Two, the jet stream actually captures it and pulls it up the coast, and it's going to hug the shoreline, and it actually could cause some damage for parts of the Jersey Shore and southern Long Island because of coastal flooding. Just because it got hit by Sandy. It's very dangerous right there. For us in central New York, what it could cause is that snowy, wintry mix. So you may get your first tangible inch or two of snowfall. Right now, it's too hard to tell how much snow and where the most snow is going to fall. We'll keep you updated with that later in the forecast. So tonight drops down to 23 degrees. Sunsets at 4:54 tonight. Partly cloudy, winds northwest 5 to 15 miles per hour. And you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be chilly, 23 degrees again. You may see some flurries out your window when you wake up. Partly sunny, and sunrise is at 6:42. Here we are for tomorrow. Gets up to a high of 38 degrees. Sunsets at 4:52. Now watch out for the wind chill. Cuts it by 15 degrees. Wind chill is going to feel like 23 outside. Winds are from the north-northwest at 5 to 15 miles per hour. So here's our 16-6 day. Monday we get that morning mix of maybe some snow and some rain. 38 degrees. And into Tuesday, it's a very important day, not just because it's election day, but it's also November 6th, my mom's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. Hope you're watching. Here we go to Wednesday, 41 degrees. We have cold and cloudy conditions, and it drops down to 28 for your low. Get used to that, because then we go into Thursday, we have that winter winds, and that's when the nor'easter may affect us. We're at 38 degrees, dropping down to 30. And Friday, we get some sun, but the wind chill is going to make it feel like 25. So grab your jacket for this week. Low for Friday is 27, and Saturday comes out as this week's winner. Mostly sunny skies. A burst of warm air soars up to 50, and we have a low of 29 degrees.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a nice day for your mom's birthday.
Absolutely.
I hope she enjoys the lovely weather. Thanks, Adam.
Coming up on Newswatch 16, health correspondent Carrie Beal discusses the presidential candidates' views on health care.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I'm Carrie Beal with your Newswatch 16 Health Watch. New York State is falling ill not just due to Superstorm Sandy, but also whooping cough. New York is among the states with the highest increase. 3 times as many cases have been reported this year compared to 2011. Whooping cough is a highly contagious bacterial disease. This disease is especially a problem to young children who are most susceptible. There has been 32,000 cases of whooping cough across the country and 16 deaths. The majority of these deaths are among infants younger than 3 months. There are vaccines available for people of all ages, so make sure to contact your doctor to see which is best for you. Election night is almost here, and a hot-button issue for voters is health care. One of the biggest differences between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney's health care plan is Medicaid. Medicaid is a program which provides health care to low-income individuals. New York State has spent 26% more on Medicaid this year. Obama wants to continue expanding this program by raising eligibility limits. For example, this would allow more low-income parents to get health care rather than just children. Romney, however, strives for a more flexible Medicaid program called Grant Medicaid. Romney plans to give more Medicaid responsibility and power to the states, while Obama plans to give more to the federal government. Both plans could have long-lasting effects in costs and eligibility. That's it for your Health Watch. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Carrie. In the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy destruction, New York State may allow voting past Tuesday's official election day. The State Board of Elections said that if a county determines that it has less than 25% turnout on Tuesday, it can request a second day of voting. The board would then consider the request, and if approved, a rescheduled voting day would occur within 20 days of Election Day. Officials are unsure if voter turnout will be low, but think that some in New York may have other priorities at the moment. A second voting day has never happened in New York.
A recent national poll shows that Obama and Romney are virtually tied in the upcoming election. Released by NBC News and the Wall Street Journal, the poll claims Obama has support of 48% of likely voters, while, ironically, 47% support Romney. An earlier poll released by the same organizations showed the candidates tied with 47% each. A separate poll released by ABC News and the Washington Post show Obama and Romney both at 48%. There is no denying this race is going to be a close one.
The FBI is expected to question Ali Ani al-Harzi, a suspect in the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi. The United States government became aware of Harzi when he posted details of the attack on social media while it was happening. At the request of U.S. officials, Harzi was detained when he entered Turkey after leaving Libya. Turkey then transferred him to Tunisia, where he is currently being held. Harzi is not the only suspect federal agents are looking at, but officials have not said how many others are under investigation. Harzi will be interviewed under Tunisian supervision.
A nanny in New York has been charged with murdering 2 children on Saturday. Police say Yoselin Ortega fatally stabbed 6-year-old Lucia and 1-year-old Leo in a bathtub in the family's Manhattan apartment before turning the knife on herself. Ortega survived and is currently recovering from her self-inflicted injuries. At the time of the incident, the children's mother, Marina Krim, was taking their other daughter to a local swim class. Krim had expected to meet Ortega later that evening and was alarmed when Ortega did not show. She has been charged with first and second-degree murder. At least 62 people were killed after rebel fighters in Syria attacked the Taftanaise military air base. The air base was surrounded while almost 200 regime troops were thought to be trapped inside. The rebel forces of the Free Syrian Army intended to hold the perimeter of the base. Syrian government media claim to have heroically repelled the attack while killing large numbers of terrorists. Claims by the Syrian government and by opposition could not be confirmed since government restrictions prevent journalists from reporting freely within Syria.
In the Northeast, Superstorm Sandy has sparked a gas panic. In New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, the demand for gasoline has increased as it is needed by many to power their homes with generators. Stations in 12 New Jersey counties have begun rationing gas, tying access to license plate numbers. Oil and gas experts have said the chaos is caused by the fear and panic that follow the storm. Long gas lines are common following large storms like Superstorm Sandy. Despite the large demand, the price of gasoline has not increased in New Jersey or New York.
Let's check in with Dylan Hornblum for a preview of what's coming up on Sports Final. Dylan?
Thanks, Kelly. Coming up tonight on Sports Final, we'll take a look at the Bombers' final home game and their final tune-up game before the Cortica Jug, plus Cornell men's football highlights and a weekend that was at the Liner Rink in Cornell hockey. All that plus your high school huddle and plays of the week coming up tonight on Sports Final.
Thanks, Dylan. Would you want to wear your tweets? British X Factor judge Nicole Scherzinger wore a Twitter dress last night to a launch event for the new 4G mobile service EE. The dress was made from the finest silk chiffon, more than 500 Swarovski crystals, and more than 2,000 LED lights.
The lights lit up to spell out the tweets, which scrolled across Scherzinger's waist. Fans sent in the tweets throughout the evening by tweeting at EE and using the hashtag #TweetTheDress. But one can't help but hope someone was reading those tweets before they were plastered across Scherzinger's waistline. The dress was created by fashion technology company Cute Circuit and is rechargeable via a USB stick.
Very interesting. Adam Epstein is back for a look at our wake-up weather. What can we expect for our Monday morning?
Well, when you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be cold. 23 degrees, grab your jacket, grab your hat, grab your gloves. As we go into 12 o'clock, it's literally freezing at 32 degrees, and into the night, quick cooling 31 degrees and into the 20s as your low tomorrow night.
Thanks, Adam. That's all we have for you tonight on Newswatch Sunday. Thanks for joining us.
Be sure to tune in on Tuesday for our special election night coverage starting at 8 p.m. Have a great night.